Hello, I am Alessio, and today I'm going to speak about this beautiful synthesizer, the ARP 2600. Let's listen to it. The ARP 2600 is an iconic synthesizer from the early 70s, and it was one of the major competitors against the Moog instruments like the Minimoog. It was used by many famous artists like Jean-Michel Jarre or some rock bands like The Who or Rainbow. In this video I would like to speak about the restoration I made with the help of my father to my instrument. Then my idea is to give you some technical notes on how it works, and of course I will play some patches with it. This was a very simple patch, and the music was from Impressioni di settembre of PFM, one of the first Italian songs where the synthesizer has been used. So, in this patch you can hear all the three oscillators of the instruments. The filter is completely open and you have a very rich sound with many high-frequency harmonics. From the technical point of view, these kind of machines work on the principle of the so-called subtractive synthesis, where you start from a waveform with a very rich harmonic content with many high frequency, and then you filter out those harmonics by using a low-pass filter. This synthesizer is a monophonic one. This means that you can press only one key at a time. Its main characteristic is that the structure is semi-modular. That means that it is made by many modules that can be connected externally with jack patch cables. But instead you can use internal connections. The modules that are available here can be divided into two groups that are audio modules and control modules. About audio modules, we have three oscillators as main sound sources, then a noise generator, and all these four signals can be mixed together at the input of the voltage control filter, that is a low-pass type of the fourth order. The output of the filter is internally connected to a voltage control amplifier that works like a gate that allows the signal to pass or not to pass. Now let's listen to a song I recorded only using the ARP 2600. Control modules are two envelope generators, one of the type attack, decase, stymie and release, and the other a simpler attack and release. These modules allows you to give to the sound the shape you want in time. In terms of both the harmonic content, if you connect the envelope generator to the control input of the filter, or in terms of the amplitude volume if the envelope is connected to the voltage controlled amplifier. The sample and hold is internally connected to the noise generator and it samples the noise, producing at its output a completely randomic sequence that can be used, for example, to drive the oscillators and produce random notes. The ring modulator is an audio processing module, or it can be used really in two ways. One is the audio mode and the other one is the DC mode. It works like a multiplier in the mathematical sense. That means that if you give to its two inputs two signals, the output in each instant of time is the multiplication of the two signal values. Moreover, you can connect an external source, like for example an electric guitar, to this preamplifier, and you can follow its envelope by the envelope follower. Let's listen to some patches we can produce with the synth. These were some examples using oscillators, filter in a conventional way, I mean where all the three oscillators are used to feed the voltage control filter and then the voltage control amplifier. I played also the noise with the chord sequence that remembers a song from the Animals, The House of the Rising Sun. That patch was a little more complex because I used the noise as a sound source, and then the voltage control filter is used like an oscillator, because if you increase the resonance to its maximum value, the filter starts to oscillate, and you can use as a fourth oscillator. So, I can tell you something about the restoration I made. I bought this instrument many years ago from a friend who I met on a forum of electronics in internet, and this was like a present because I paid it a very low price. But it was in very bad conditions, because all the external coating was very worn, and from the electronic point of view there were many problems. Some modules were not working and others were completely not present. The power supply was not in order, the keyboard was partially disassembled. The restoration was made by me and my father Mark. I worked with the electronics, trying to fix modules, to reconstruct some circuits and to improve the circuits that originally didn't work in a good way. For example, the reverberator was very noisy, and this was a common problem of the ARP synthesizers. So my idea was to rebuild the circuit with a low noise operational amplifier with a different configuration that allows me to maintain the same input impedance, but with low resistor values, and in this way the thermal noise of resistor is reduced, and so the whole amplifier sounds more silent. Then you can see that all the caps on the potentiometers are not the original ones, because they were not present, and so I bought this kind of cap from an electronic distributor that is RS Components. All the potentiometers were blocked, completely blocked, so they were not usable at all. My father found a way to repair them without replacing with the spare parts. He had the idea to open each potentiometer and remove the imperfections of the surface where the cursor moves, by using sandpaper and much hard graft. Then we added some silicone grease, and now their feeling is quite good. Moreover, my father worked on the appearance of the instrument by disassembling the cabinet and coating it with new thorax. The whole casing now looks like new, because he searched for all the external parts that were as close as possible to the original ones, like the corners, the handles, the latches, the rubber feet, and he bought them from American and European websites. Now I propose you another recording of a famous song made only with the ARP 2600 without any external effect. Only some reverb is added using the internal spring tank. This was a song asked by a friend, Emanuele, who wants to hear Axel F by Harold Faltermeyer, the song from Beverly Hills Cop. Let me spend some words about analog synthesizers in general. First, with an analog instrument you have all the controls in front of you. For example, in the ARP, if I have an idea, I can pick up a patch cord, plug in the jack, raise up the slider, and I have an immediate feedback on what is happening. When I try to do the same with my digital keyboard, a newer Roland Phantom, I have to deal with the menus, only one potentiometers to insert values, so the idea needs a long time to be produced. The second point is more technical, and it is due to the bandwidth of the analog systems versus digital systems. With the digital systems you have a fixed sample frequency. For example, for the CD quality it is 44.1 kHz due to the Nyquist theorem, because the maximum bandwidth of the signal at the input of a digital equipment, in this case, can be about 20 kHz. That is the conventional value assumed for the human ear. When you mix together three oscillators, like in this system, you have the interaction of all the high-order harmonics that are above 20 kHz. And these interactions, due to the imperfections of the circuits, due to their nonlinearities, produce a result in the audio band, so you can hear it. If you try to build up the same sound with a digital keyboard, you cannot get the same result because of this kind of interactions, and also because you have only a fixed amount of amplitude levels in digital systems, while an analog signal can assume an infinite number of signal levels. Okay, let me really conclude this video with a special thank to my father, who helped me in giving a new life to this instrument. If you enjoyed the video, or if you have questions, suggestions, please write a comment below. My idea is to record other videos like this one, but with some more detail about a specific topic. So stay tuned. Bye bye!
È un bel video, bello, pulito, esplicativo, e poi trasuda un sacco la tua passione generale, cioè se sei in camicia, poi come spieghi le tracce che fai, a parte che ho messo i sottotitoli automatici e quando parli della PFM si fa malissimo i sottotitoli di YouTube, però faceva ridere.